It's Tuesday, April the 28th, 9 p.m. here in the DMV. I'm Sam Giacinto.
And 6 p.m. here in Los Angeles. I'm Jack Armstrong.
And you're listening to Tech Talk Live. Before we get started, Tech Talk Live is sponsored by AirPixels. AirPixels is a drone company using cutting edge AI flight planning software to fly drones better on film sets, rooftops, and beyond. Check them out at airpixels.com.
Today, we have a special guest joining us. Welcome to the show. We've got Tamil Robertson, the founder and creative art and design director of the House of Amiyat, which stands for All Moods in All Textiles. Tamil is a master airbrush painter, textile designer, and fashion innovator whose work spans interior design and home decor and fashion. A graduate of the Newark School of Fine and Industrial Arts, he's collaborated with major names like the NFL and Reebok, blending fine art sensibility with real-world commercial design. Welcome to the show. We're excited to have you.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure.
So one thing as a designer, I think that bridges design and tech are the is the tool set you use to create, and I think that's been a big. And I know for designers and technologists alike, I feel like because I'm aware of some people would say it's a cartel, some people would say it's an invaluable tool, but Adobe as a corporation, as a tool set, from the iconic Photoshop to InDesign to Premiere to Dreamweaver to it's there's too many products to name essentially. But as a tool set, Adobe has been especially interesting, kind of at the intersection of design and technology, um, really aggressively integrating artificial intelligence, at least generative AI, into their product suite. So I'm curious what your experiences have been, given someone who's had that depth of experience. What have you seen? Has it been useful? Has it impacted your workflow? How so?
Wow, that's a vast, very big question, and I'm so honored to answer that because I've been working with Adobe for the past, I would have to say, 30 years. Because when Adobe first came out, they were on disk, and you have to purchase those disks and load those disks inside of your Macintosh G4, whatever laptop or desktop that you had. So I was in this embryo stage with Adobe. However, being a classically trained artist like myself, coming thing with Adobe because it had so many presets, and you don't have that many pencils, you don't have that many Rapidograph pens or paint brushes and things to cover the whole palette, manually yourself. So it was this love hate. The love part helped me bring out the pure innate talent that I have and really made it so elite and so smooth and clean that pre started learning with the Wacom tablet. Then it was the pen, and from a effective for me throughout my whole career. So it's a very, very great tool. And I don't think that Adobe would stop because they deal with so many creative like myself and bring that data in that they can create more presets. They can create the AI part of it now because they're getting so much intelligence, so much information from true artists like myself. So it's basically like another pen or a airbrush, supercharged airbrush that I have, or more paints that you would have to go out and actually buy those paints at an art store, which is really expensive. From even when I started from high school to college to arts college, that's expensive. But to get that program, it has everything there, and it's all in one. It's all in one place.
Can you speak to, I'm curious, so when you're designing a new piece, I guess it doesn't necessarily matter. I know that there's a lot of online stores utilizing like uh, I don't want to say filters, but like augmented reality and the ability to try on like like instead of just seeing a photo, right? You've got a 3D model that can be like, can go over you, so you have a better, like kind of like a virtual try on experience. Is this like what are your feelings on how this technology can maybe not only help the design process but also like influence consumers purchasing behaviors?
Oh, wow. It's great that you say there's a company that just launched called Spree AI. Find like virtual shopping experiences. They've reached a $1.5 billion valuation after funding round, and it was led by the Davidson Group earlier this year, and the CEO and founder is a guy named John Amia. He's over in London. They're like the UK group, but it's garnered support from icons like Naomi Campbell, um, supermodel Naomi Campbell, entrepreneurs Bob Davidson and Larry Ruvo. They put this whole thing together, and to be valued at 1.5 billion, and it's just an online shopping. It's an online shopping where the person who's on the site, they can upload themselves, and they can pick out what designers that they have and put the clothes actually on them, so they can see how it looks, fit. However, this is just something that just started. I think other brands or other fashion houses like an LVMH or Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy or Givenchy or Gucci, they may come with something else that'll be catered to just them, which is what I started doing myself when I started working with AI amongst. But see, I did product wise. I never evolved into the shopper side yet. So it's something that I'm just developing now, but it is here and it's really strong. So right now you see a lot of AI programs on your phones that you can download, and you can like play games, or augment your face into something, or you're in some movie or movie poster. So AI is doing a lot of fun things like that. But monetary wise, I think brands should start taking it very seriously and co-branding with AI to develop something that would have them, like say for instance the House of Amiyat. You can just get the House of Amiyat experience with an AI. You can walk into the store virtually. You can see the racks virtually. You can see the shoes virtually. Now, real. So this is real time, very, very real. You can see the grains in the denim. You can see the stitch, in the suit jacket. You can see how I lay down the patterns now. I mean, very real. It's like I'm looking at real fabric. So the 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 that I don't think there would be any brand that would not use it. So I'm building it myself like a pure House of Amiyat, and you have a virtual AI, concierge service, and you give them a whole experience. So when I saw that article of a 1.5 billion evaluation, I thought that was ingenious. But at the same time, they just have various brands there. I think they had like two or three designers there. We're just strictly the House of Amiya. So, say for instance, if you want to go into equestrian, we have an equestrian experience. We'll have a yachting experience. We'll have a golf experience. All that is fashion. So it's not just about a nice T-shirt with a nice graphic on it. It's about an experience, and I want to use AI to take you on that experience virtually with yourself. So you would put yourself in that. It was sort of like something that Zuckerberg was trying to do with Meta, but this is more evolved. So they have the technology that they're building now that you can actually do that with.
You bring up an interesting point, and I'm curious. Kind of what piqued my interest a little was, I know, the T in Amiat means textiles, and part of that, uh, at least for me, I guess, is the tangible feeling of, you're noticing, the stitching of the fabric, or what, the attributes of the fabric is, touch is a very important sense, I feel like, in fashion, and not, I'm speaking completely, I'm obviously not, I'm wearing a, Costco t-shirt here, but it's, the feeling of what you're wearing is part of that experience. So I'm curious how you bridge the gap between, because as you take on the metaverse and Mark Zuckerberg, and that, I feel like part of why maybe that wasn't as successful is maybe people were lacking that, in turn, even in social situations, giving people a hug or shaking a hand, or that kind of, that link is a very important thing that people are missing out on with, with the VR and with online experiences. So I'm curious how to maybe bridge that gap. Is it sending them a sample and sort of saying, this is our, denim X, or yeah, how does that work out?
Well, the idea of this is why it has to be an experience. And I think what Zuckerberg didn't have was that what you were talking about, the experience. You can give someone an experience in fashion, even probably like with music, when they're inside the program or inside the virtual experience of that. Let's just say the House of Amia. We're giving a virtual experience. Pain. There'll be, you see. So that experience, we've all tasted some champagne or some type of beverage or some type of concierge service when you go to a nice hotel. So those experiences, those little nuances that we put inside AI universe for the House of Amiyat, you would be able to have that experience because you've been there before. A person that buys fashion or is into fashion or into style, they've been on a plane, they've flown first class, so we can show them coming into the first class, private jet that has the Amiyat textile patterns all in the seat, so they get to see that, and they can experience that because they've touched leather before, they've touched denim before, they wear jeans, whether it's Levi's or whether it's Lee's or whatever it may be. You've actually touched those before, so they're given the experience, just like you're watching a movie. You would like. I'm a big James Bond fan, so I like to wear a tux and a nice bow tie. And when you walk, when you're overseas and you're with the guys overseas and they're taking you to the casino, you feel that whole James Bond feel, but yet you've watched it in a movie. So with that experience that AI is going to give you through the House of Amiyat, you'll get that experience of you've already touched wool before, you've already touched cashmere before, a t-shirt, whether it's from Costco's or whether it's from Neiman Marcus. You've touched those fabrics before. Now it's all about that look. It's all about that experience we just gave you, inside the House of Amiyat. It's just all about the experience, that whole Robin Leach thing.
Okay.
No, you have an excellent point. I
Yeah.
think the you need to experience, like, it's buying online or having not experienced the brand. You need to create a sense of familiarity with the textiles that you're utilizing. I do have a question. So speaking of, like, you make your own denim, and I'm curious, do you, from a supply chain perspective, is it important for you to track, like, the origin of all of your materials, and if so, like, is technology playing a part in the supply chain and forecasting of what's going to be popular in the future, and what to design
Oh
next?
yeah. Yes. So for instance, I was talking with AI and we brought up silk. So I make silk from the original yarn, which comes from the silkworm. AI already has that
Yeah.
information. Now AI can tell me which type of silkworm, because they have that vast knowledge. I know silk from watching it from a point of view at the factory. AI can go and tell me which worm in which region can spit out the strongest yarn. See, I wouldn't know that. We would just have to go
Mhm.
almost and soar of the silk factories of the silkworms. AI told me how many strands, how many strands that can pull it, because silk, once you wrap it, once you weave it so strong, it can cut through, paper. It's really strong. So AI gave me all of that data. So now we can go to the northern region of China where we can, find the strongest silkworms that spit out the best silk and make the strongest fabric. So definitely AI helped me with that. That's even with cotton. It's they have all that data that they can just tell you, and you can compare your notes, and automatically you cut all the research very, very fast.
Yeah, so
I'm very impressed with it myself.
so the development has the time has shrunk a lot because AI has, in the research process can allow you, a ton more knowledge at a faster pace to create new fabrics as well.
Yes, even the dyes, the yarns, even with intarsia knits, which is and you can put the sweat it'll weave. It gives you all of that. Now I came up with a fragrance bottle of the Amiyat low shape. I sketched the bottle myself. I put it into AI, gave a few measurements. AI put a schematic out. I sent it over to the factory. Factory did a 3D mold with a program, and in 6 weeks, I got a sample back like this. That took
Neat.
this normally takes 6 months to do. Yeah, I mean it actually did it in 6 weeks, and something which takes 6 months to really do to make the mold, and AI helped me do that in a short period of time. Now that's with a shoe mold, that's with a zipper trim, a belt buckle. It's really, really fast. Now I can just sketch, upload the sketch, and give so many different um, directives on the thickness, what color metal finish that I want. If I want shiny, I want it rugged. AI has all they have all of that information already. Something in wood, I wanted cherry oak, or I wanted in a light oak. They, shellac finish in a piece of furniture. AI does it extremely well. Now, I would have to, with pre Photoshop, and paint that in, but it would look so cartoonish, or like a drawing or illustrator. AI would make it look like real wood.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Is sort of taking your, in a way, it's not replacing the design process, but it's allowing you to shorten or augment the parts where you put your creative talent into designing the logo, and then the bottle manufacturer itself, that part you don't particularly, don't want to become invested in how bottles are produced necessarily, but you just want to create that product, and that allows you to kind of simplify and at least have access to a vast repository of information pretty quickly. um, and it kind of allows you to explore
Yeah,
more deeply and rapidly,
yeah.
it sounds like.
Definitely. I mean, even to the quality of the glass, the weight, you know,
Yeah, it's like, what kind
the
of glass
color,
do I
the color
use?
fade,
You
the
know,
way I wanted to do the color fade. Is it crude, plastic, silicone, any kind of glass materials that, even here, I said, let's change it to red. So it'll resemble the word love. So, I mean, even the ridges at the bottom, all of that, I did all this through AI. Very simple.
Wow.
Even if you can see the way they did the letters, the Amiyat letters here,
that's neat.
it's really, really, yeah. And it was all through AI. I did that bottle completely through AI.
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
was
it's
we had one tech pack. Yeah,
no, that I just natural language and how you're prompting everything to get to that process, and yeah, how it's shortened and allowed you to create something super unique and on brand, just by chatting, right? It's just by natural language, which is yeah, really really impressive. And how many times did you have to iterate like this design specifically until you got to the desired result? Like, is it understanding you better and better than it did a year ago?
I'm gonna put it to you this way. I put the logo, I put the sketch in. I already knew what I wanted exactly. So it took one time. It wasn't even a mistake. It didn't even.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a mistake. I wanted crystal glass. I wanted it in the shape of the logo. It followed the sketch. It even straightened out the letters because when you hand sketching uh, straight perspective, unless you're using a Pro Tool or you're using a protractor or a ruler or a scale ruler like we used to do back in the day when we were doing interior design. We used rulers and things like that before CAD systems. So nobody's going to perfectly draw a straight line. So AI, it put it perspectively right the first time this way. So definitely we didn't have to go back and forth like I would have to do in the latter days of doing tech packs, schematics, specifications, and things like that. We just did it one time.
And you're able
Now
to
we're working on
execute
a cap.
vision faster. It's like, because you don't have to give your feedback and then someone else goes back to what you want, and in that way you can, if you iterate instantly, that allows you to approach that final product even faster.
Definitely. The bag that you see on the website with the women laying, she has the boots on, and the bag is like on the bed with her. So the bag was created first. I put the bag to AI and said, listen, this is my original weave pattern. This is the original Amiyat leather weave geo pattern. I want to create the actual boot that matches exactly to that bag. And it came up with a short version. It came up with a knee-high version because I programmed it that way. And I sent that to the factory. And now in like 10 more days, I'll have the sample here. That usually takes 3 months. So here's the actual bag. Here's the actual bag. So you can see the Amiyat logo. So this is all die cut. And I did the first sketch by hand. So you see the Amiyat logo in the metal handle. All of this was done by hand. I cut it out in paper. Now I can just put it into AI, and AI gives me something like this. So you see the continuity, text all on my the handle and the bottle. So you get a complete experience, full continuity, and still creative. Now you see a brand.
Yeah.
And AI helped me do all of this. And it usually takes years. Now it's taking days, weeks.
Do you,
That's the magic of AI.
So I'm kind of curious, and I know this has been and I don't know, again, as someone approaching this, something I noticed during the pandemic era. I think a big part of that, sort of everyone's trapped inside and no one has anything to do, was fast fashion in the terms of Sheen and all of the other copycats. And I'm curious your thoughts on how do you think AI is going to impact fast fashion? For maybe people who don't put the same amount of soul or effort into their work. Do you think it lowering the barrier? You know, does it have any possible implications? I guess, or for fast fashion, is it going to be even faster than ever? I mean, it's going to be McDonald's fashion almost. It's like someone sees a picture and it's like, we're going to scan TikTok for these type of pants and make them on Sheen in like 20 minutes and then like put ads out. And it's like, okay, like what?
That's definitely happening right now. That's not even like the future. That's happening like right
Oh
now.
man.
There's been designers that have been crying. Yeah, there's been designers, independent designers that have been crying because Sheen copied something. They put it, and you can get it overnight.
Yeah.
It's the nature of the beast. And for me, I don't worry about it because I'm a true creator. So I'm an artistic person at heart. So for me, it's more like a compliment, other than someone, what you have, because everything I have is pure original. It's too much work put into what I do to make it into a fast brand. Only thing you maybe can do is take the logo T-shirt and run with it. But I have too many different categories that I go across with. Sheen is just fashion. Temu is a bunch of products, and it's a bunch of generic products. It's not like you can take a fork, my logo, the handle that you've seen, can be the end part of a fork, which we already developing the mold for. So I'm more of a lifestyle experience, more so than a fast fashion, and that's fashion. But for the House of Amiyat, it's not just about the apparel. It's about the eyewear. It's about the footwear. It's about, your cutlery. Or if you're an equestrian, we have the saddles that we're getting ready to make. We're doing automotive interiors. So if you want your ZR1 Corvette and the Amiyat Geo pattern for the leather seats. So we're giving you a whole experience in life, because those are life things. But as far as with the fast fashion brands, that's something that's going to be here, and they'll use AI to do that. And I've seen a couple of designers have their designs taken, and it's on Sheen. They did like a version of it, and I'm like, wow, and it's overnight. I mean, Zara does it. Zara will look at the high end brands, and overnight, Zara will have something similar to whatever it may be, H&M. Those different retailers. There's nothing you can really do about that.
Yeah.
I'm more of an artist across the board. So whether it be sports licensing, I can do, because I've done it already. Everybody from T.O. to Tom Brady's worn my uniforms on field. So we have, those accolades. We have Reebok history, MLB history, well, in the Jackie Robinson collection, things like that. So when you have different accolades and accomplishment, it's a more serious thing. You're looking at more of an art form, more so than fast fashion. And with AI, it's helping me outpace a lot of that. So I love the AI part now. It's like my best friend. Definitely.
So I have an interesting point, like where tech and fashion might intersect. I know there's a lot of fake products from designer brands. Is and QR codes, of course, through the pandemic and have now become like more popular. How is tech nowadays, and is it important for that authenticity? Like, how is it playing a role in verifying the authenticity when it's needed for for a brand like yours? Is it important to do such a thing and have a QR code or some sort of a tag that that's authentic? Maybe with a blockchain or something. Is that important in the industry now that the tech is a little more maybe readily accessible?
Yeah, that's a great question. The blockchain is it's really really necessary. Have that worry because everything is original from its inception. So I'm more of like a Picasso or Renoir or Dali, more so than you need blockchain. We do have. That's why we have Welcome to the have invites to special drops. I may do 100 of one color, and that's it globally. So those things, but doing things like that, you have to be able to go span across many categories. So where I'm only doing 100 of one thing, I may do 1,000 of the bed sheets that you would get for your home. So those are different things, and I would do that through a license. So maybe like if Target wanted to do a special collaboration with me because I have a special kind of lace that we can do. So those different things would monetize in different categories. So with that being said, other brands may have special codes for different sales or different drops. For me, it would be an invitation to the experience only. So it's an invite only. I want to keep it more of a velvet rope type of experience, and using AI, having AI will help me accomplish that. So I would like collaborate with a like super tech person that has that capability to take my vision to another level with the experience. I'm an artist at heart, so I stay in my lane, but with the tools that I have with Adobe and the AI programs, they just assist me on the creativity. On the monetary side, I would need a tech person who can invest their time and their management to micromanage the experience to create that room for me and create that because I don't code that way. So I would have to get on tutorials for hours and days to try to learn how to do coding when you have people that can actually do that now, which is why AI is so vast and so strong right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like every week I'm seeing something new. A new AI program is can help you do this or but in a house like this.
Gosh, and this is something Jack and I talk about on the show. I've just been thinking about, the value of human created work as time goes on. We speak about, because we're podcasters, right? And you as a creator of a different medium, right? And I'd like to think that people find value in that human aspect of creation. Others may think, well, if it's good content, well, if it's a good piece of clothing, I don't really care where it came from. I'm hoping that we do kind of hold on to that section of humanity in design, because I feel like art is kind of one of those intangible things that make us human in a way. I may not understand it all the time. I'm an engineer by trade, but I think there's a value in something that it's the distillation of the human experience. We can't let it go in that way. But I'm curious, to get your thoughts and opinions on, do you think the average person places value in something that's human created, or do you think that, you know, pe- do you think the average person may not care as long as, the shirt's durable and the shirt does a good job at, the stains come out of the shirt. It's like, oh, I'll wear an AI shirt, and I won't care about it.
Are connoisseurs of art and creativity and experience. And then you have the people on the other side, they don't really care about that. So for me, I'm for the true artist, the true connoisseur, it's life in the moment. Um, the person that's a professional who collects art or collects different things from different artists or creatives, whether it's music, whether it's fashion, and different things like that. So you have do have balance, and also what drives people, authenticity and story. Something where you created something from since you was a child, and you have a journey and a story to tell. People love stories. People love to hear how you made it something out of nothing. That will never leave. That will never go. Even when I asked AI about my story, he compared me. Now I have a publisher that did the book for me, that published the book. So the publishers put it through an I guess you would call it, like they would like rate the book at, like, if it's a 5 star. So it said this book sit with Quincy Jones, Karl Lagerfeld, and Dapper Dan. And I was like blown away. Because Karl Lagerfeld, God rest his soul, is like, one of the greatest designers ever, with Chanel and Lagerfeld. And I'm like, whoa, like this is a real honor. And then to have, Quincy Jones, who was a major, major composer of music and everything, that was me. Because I can compose in art, I can compose in colors. And when they said Dapper Dan, the publisher had no idea who that was. A lot of people don't. He was a guy in Harlem who created suits using Louis Vuitton, Gucci fabric, and he was shut down because it was copyright infringement. But however, he dressed the whole hip hop, R&B, his industry. Whoever was famous, they went to Dapper Dan in Harlem. So when they put that in there, she never knew who Dapper Dan. She said to me, "Who is Dapper Dan?" So I gave her the story. But for AI to come and compare me with the Dapper Dan was only because I'm from the inner city, he's from the inner city. So AI is very intelligent on dissecting different information and putting it together to give you that rating like that. So I really appreciate this whole AI era that we're in. It's just elevating my talent, it's elevating my self-esteem. Even though I do have great self-esteem about myself, I'm proud of what I do, proud of where I come from, where I was born and where I was raised. But it gives you the pat on the back from technology telling you that your art and your creativity is something that I need to put into my intelligence, so I the next person. So that's what I love about it.
Yeah. Well, Tamil, we're just about out of time for our episode today, but we really appreciate you coming on. And is there any final thoughts about this unique intersection of tech and AI and fashion that we didn't discuss today? Because I want to make sure that we talk about everything that's important.
Wow. Well, right now I'm already thinking outer space. I'm already thinking how I can do the next space suit. I'm already thinking how I can do, all of the different footwear. I'm already sketching, so I'm there with it already. Like, then the thing about it, the only thing that you can't do with this technology, you can't download a pair of jeans. You can't download a shirt and wear it. You have to still go to the factory and get it. But right now, I'm just in a whole creative space with going galaxy with it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again, Tamil Robertson. Thank you
Thank
for
you for
coming
your
on the
time.
show and talking today. We really appreciate your time. And new episodes every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And visit us on the web at techtalklive.xyz. Thanks again for coming on. Until next time.